The more you spend, the more money will come into your life. An attractive girl from the laptop screen suggested to Irma in a trusting voice, "Take our course, I want more money," and you will immediately see how everything around you will begin to change for the better. We will help you to recognize the attitudes that prevent money from flowing into your life. Personally for you, and only today, there is a discount. The whole course for only $1,500. On the screen, rapidly changing each other, began to appear pictures that caused delight and envy. Here is influencer flying on a business jet to Aspen. Here she is in a bright red ski suit racing down the slopes of Mont Blanc and sinks into the waters of the Caribbean Sea in a stunning swimsuit. Finally, she enters the stage in high heels and a glittering dress that barely covers her intimate parts. Bright spotlights pick her figure out of the darkness, emphasizing her slender figure and high breasts. "We are rich, we are rich." The audience chanted in unison, throwing up hundreds of hands holding the latest model iPhones with glowing flashlights. "This is how I want to live," Irma thought, contemplating the fabulous life. After some hesitation, she decided to pay for the course from her husband's account. She transferred almost all of his paycheck to the blogger. "We'll get by somehow, and then the money will come to us," Irma thought as she entered the card details on the website. Irma spent the rest of the day in good mood, dancing to songs by Britney Spears and Michael Jackson. She dreamed of shopping at Nordstrom and Macy's in the future. "Irma, what have you done? How are we going to live now?" was all Matthew could ask when he got home. "Honey, trust me, I will take this course, open up the cash flow, and we will live happily ever after, never needing anything. In the meantime, you can borrow money from work." "From who? What are you talking about?" "We already owe everybody," Matthew exclaimed. "Ask the boss, he won't say no to a young family. And my mother will help us buy food. We'll make it this month. You'll see, things will get better and money will come, and we'll give away all our debts." At the age of 33, Matthew was not only burdened with a wife and young son. They had a mortgage on a small one-bedroom apartment and a car loan for a brand new Ford. Irma's husband worked as a collection driver, and almost all of his salary went to pay the mortgage and the loan. Irma didn't work because she believed that a woman is a goddess, and it is her duty to be beautiful and make the home comfortable. To say that the family lived poorly is to say nothing. They could barely make ends meet, constantly borrowing money from parents and acquaintances, sinking deeper and deeper into debt. "Bob, can't you lend me some money until payday?" Matthew asked his boss. "We just got it." "Have you spent it all?" The boss shook his head. "There were some unexpected expenses." "Here's the thing, Matthew. You're a good kid, but you need to learn to plan your spending. You're living beyond your means. Besides, why doesn't your wife work? We have a little kid. She can work online from home. There are many different opportunities today that don't require any special training, at least as a telephone dispatcher. Bob, please help me one last time." "No. Otherwise, it'll never stop. And we won't be able to pay you back. You've got a mortgage to pay." "Okay, the apartment, but why did you buy a car if you can't afford it?" Matthew came home black as a cloud. The boss said no. He told his wife, "I don't know what I'm going to do." No one at work will lend me any money. I'm going to rob a bank. You see, the course is starting to work. You're already thinking about where to get money. But you don't want to rob a bank. It's a tricky business and dangerous. You'll get arrested. Think about it. Think about it. The money flows are already open, Irma said, hugging her husband. Matthew stayed up all night, and by morning he had a plan. Periodically, their ministry would drop off money at the post office in the industrial area. The place was deserted, and there were hardly any passers-by. Usually, a two-man crew in a patrol car would drive up to the branch. You can try to open the back door of the car and steal a bag of money. And if they resist, you can pepper spray the driver in the eyes. I'll grab a bag and run, Matthew reasoned as the first rays of dawn began to break through the window. By Matthew's calculations, there should be at least $250, 000 in the collection bag. He shared his plans with his wife. You just have to think about it, Irma told her husband. That same day, Matthew went to a self-defense store and purchased an aerosol gas canister. Armed with the canister, he drove to the post office and mapped out possible escape routes. All that remained was to figure out when his coworker's car would go to the post office. It was a dreary October, and on Friday Matthew learned that the car would be going to the post office on Monday morning. It worked out pretty well because he had to work the second shift that day. On Monday morning, Matthew, wearing an old jacket that he did not want to throw away, with a medical mask and pepper spray in his pocket, went with his wife to the scene of the crime. The car stopped around the corner of the building that housed the post office. Just don't turn the car off. I'll be quick, Matthew warned his wife as he got out and put on a medical mask. Soon a collection truck pulled up to the post office. Matthew waited for the collector to enter the post office with his bag and approached the car cautiously. Hoping that the doors were not locked, he walked to the back door and pulled the handle. The door opened. Irma's right. The stars are on our side tonight. A thought flashed through Matthew's mind. He climbed into the pickup, but there were no bags of money inside. Just then the door began to close and Matthew jumped out of the car. The driver's hand grabbed Matthew's jacket and he began to fall, dragging his assailant with him. A struggle ensued, during which the driver managed to rip off Matthew's mask, and the driver responded by spraying him in the face with pepper spray. The driver, whose eyes were literally burning, cursed loudly and let the hapless robber go. Once free, Matthew ran as fast as he could to the car where his wife was waiting for him. "Go!" he shouted to his wife, breathing heavily. On the way home, they got rid of the old jacket and the spray can and threw them in the trash. Matthew arrived at work as if nothing had happened. The day went on as usual, and he wasn't worried about anything. It wasn't until late that night, as he drove his car to his house, that two men approached him in the parking lot. They showed him police identification and announced that he was suspected of committing a crime. They took him to the police station where Matthew confessed. Among other things, he stated that he had not stolen anything. Meanwhile, it turned out that the bag the collectors had taken to the post office contained $300, 000. The money was for pensions and other expenses. Matthew was charged with aggravated robbery, committed with the use of force dangerous to life and health, and an object used as a weapon. At the trial, Matthew took all the blame, saying that Irma knew nothing about the upcoming crime. Taking into account the presence of a small child and a positive characteristic of work, the court sentenced Matthew to 4 years imprisonment suspended with a probation period of 4 years. Influencer continues to promote the course "I Want More Money."